Welcome everyone to today's Planet Nomads episode. So I have done a good bit of work this week. I have actually gone around and done a lot of supplies hauling back from that base location, from that little outpost, and I went all the way south to this island. Well, actually I went all the way down through these islands, across there, through the water, down through here, and finally found some XAENITE right there. One big patch. And then as I was exploring around, I found several more. So I've got a big harvesting area right there for some XAENITE. So today we're actually going to go and build a small outpost there. But I also have another surprise today. Now, last episode, I did say I was looking to build another design today. So I have been harvesting supplies and producing a lot of building materials. And I was originally going to build the Juggernaut, which is really nice. It's got a lot of stuff going for it. It's going to be really great to have in terms of an actual mobile base when I really need to move around like that. But I've been using the air miner a lot this week that I built last week, and it works really well. I made a small adjustment to it, so it is ready to go. It's fully loaded with a bunch of supplies to build its own stuff. So that's the one I am taking today to build the new outpost for XAENITE harvesting. But I also found this design. Now, the reason this design caught my attention is because it actually mentions the air miner in it. That it actually has a spot for the air miner to dock. Now, it may look like I am a little bit short on supplies for it, but that's only because I've already started building it. It is still working on it, over 5 minutes for it to produce it, but that is a big difference from, Empyrean, where you have to build 24 hours for some ships, 50 hours for a certain design because it's so big. This way it's, a few minutes. So fortunately, this won't take much longer, but I have already tested it a little bit. Not in this, but in creative mode. And I won't be flying it today because it does have some issues. All right, it just finished building. So this is the Flying Fortress, and it does look like that. It's got a few things going for it that I really like. One aspect that is really detailed in the description on the workshop is that it actually has a 3-sectional power type thing. So there's uranium generators, there's solar power up here. As you can see, we've got plenty of solar panels all around and some uranium generators up here. But inside on one of the lower decks, we also have a setup of deuterium generators. So you have multiple production points for your power. Now, it is sectioned off with the different pods, meaning that, like, this is for certain things, that one's for certain things. And what I don't like is that there's nothing really labeled in it. There's no switches that are labeled like, hey, this is your production switch like this. And you see I've got quite a few things here missing, what they are. So that's kind of interesting. That's all the blades missing stuff. And then you got all this. So there's a lot going on with it. It's really hefty in terms of the build components. But you see here, I've got my 3D printers. So this is like your fabrication production area. Over here, we have the refineries, generators, stuff like that. So here's my deuterium generators that I can then start tossing in deuterium to power it. So depending on where I am, what resources I have is what I need. The thing that bothers me is I can't go up to one of the switches and go up to it and be like, oh, this turns off all of the rotors, so I can use it to cut power and save, not just power itself, but also save my hearing a bit. But we come down to a lower level, and now here's where it gets a little weird. There's a cockpit right here, and that's interesting because it looks almost like it's a side of it. It looks like a wing section, like when you looked at it from that angle, and when I spawned it in, it spawned like that's one wing, that's another wing, and so you have like here, which is the docking area. You actually are supposed to fly the air miner in facing forward so that when you land, it supports it, and the 2 storage containers fit right here where their item dispensers, their item not dispensers, the conveyor connectors sit right on top of this. So you have this right here which connects them in, so you can go out, use it for mining, bring it back, and then its resources get added to the pool. There's multiple points you can fly this around. As you can see, there's one right here, So it looks like if you got in this and you flew forward, you'd be able to, like, hey, I'm going forward and it's going to fly towards my tower. Not the case. This one is really nice if you need to look down to see how you're lining everything up. That helps a lot with getting set up over a patch of water. But what I found is, like, if I do this and I take off, if it will let me take off, there it goes, is I'm pressing forward. This is W. And you see I'm going to the right, pressing D to go back, or not D, S to go backwards. I am going to my left. So this is not actually the front of the ship, even though you would think that with the cockpits being there. It's actually set up so that this is the front. So when you go here, this is forward. This is backwards. And to me, that makes the whole design backwards. Because why would I have two cockpits on the side of the ship? I would have them on the roof, on the front of the ship with the most cockpits there, and then having like, you know, the wing sections. Like, that looks like a wing. It should be on the side, not towards the front. And having the ship dock from the side, if it's only coming in one spot, it should dock from the back or the front, you know, if you want to do it that way. Not, let's dock from this one side and that's it. So I will use it later on, but first I'm going to have to do some major fixing on it. I'm going to have to fix the fact that none of the switches are labeled. So I'm going to have to redo some of the power to make sure that I can control it properly and say, hey, this is the switch for the rotors. So I'm landed, I want to turn the rotors off, save power, actually be able to run it hopefully off just the solar power, which means all my power production for uranium, deuterium is basically free at that point, and do some other stuff like that. So yeah, I'm not using it today. I'm not going to try flying it. Like I said, I have the air miner over here fully loaded, ready to go. And so that's what we're going to do. We're going to take this thing, and I think it was right here on this one. Okay, not that one. That's got some, but that's got a bunch of stuff. I'm pretty much ready to go. There's, of course, titanium, uranium, and such at that XAENITE location. But for most part, I'm going out there to get XAENITE. So here we are with a very nice sunrise there in the distance. And you can see what I have found. So when I came finally across here, I was like, oh, this has got to be desert. It's sand everywhere. You know, that looks like desert, but there's too many plants. It's not desert. But there's some sand here. I was like, beach, desert, give me some XAENITE. I've been looking for an hour now. So I started digging, and I found a little bit, and then a little more, and a little more, and a little more, until it turned into this. So I set everything down, started mining here, and started digging around. Found some more right there in the water, actually where I could get my water pump in. And so I set it up there, and I've been collecting plenty of water too while I've been doing this sort of thing. And then I found that spot there. There's that little one over there. I'm sure there's probably more through that area. And then I've got a good spot here for uranium and all that. So what I want to do is I'm going to build a resource gathering station here, at least starting out with this one and probably that one, since there's no carbon production here, or at least very little, like 1%. And, you know, for like a half hour of letting this run the other day, I got 12 carbon total in the entire time. I'm going to do a uranium generator here. So we've got uranium production right here, which means I can basically produce all the uranium I need to keep this place going. And while I can get titanium and such, I probably will just focus on getting some gold from here, maybe as a bonus. But for the most part, it's going to be just some extra uranium, keep the power up, so I don't have to worry about solar power here after all. And right now, I do have production going. I do have my mining going, so you can see I've got stuff coming in, but it's very, very sparse on everything else. And ooh, that one's not getting anything at all, really. It's got to be this one. I'm off kilter a bit from where I should be. That one's doing really well. Because it took a little playing around to get it in the right spot so I could get the water pump going again, because I do want to get some dirty water to take back. But at least I do have some mining going. I also have production going. As you can see, mechanical parts. I've got basic frame and plating Mark 1 going there. I have got everything set up, and I've just need to wait for some stuff to get finished, like this. I'm waiting on that to finish. Nothing here. I can wait on that. But yeah, thanks to that and thanks to the item dispensers, I technically have everything I need for the most part. So I don't even have to carry it with me. I just come over here and be like, hey, you know what? Let's say I'm going to start up here in the corner. And see there, I lose it. I get just outside of range and it cuts me off. So that is done right there. Let's go. See, yeah, I'm still waiting on plating. Or actually, no, yeah, I'm still waiting on plating. I was right. I just was out of range too. So I've got that and the SC electronic parts. That's fine. I can wait a moment and get that going. And in the meantime, I can go and gather up more biomass from some of the stuff here, because there is some good resource spots here. And I did go digging out in the water, looking for more places. Look at that. Just so much open space underwater here. We need underwater bases and vehicles. I need a submersible to go, swimming around with it and have just free reign over the seas as well as the land and the air. Technically now I'm going to have free reign over the air too, once I get one of those mobile bases set up right. Oh, there we go. More titanium, uranium, some gold, of course. Okay, so I have got the beginnings of a production system going now. I did actually have to readjust this from where I originally placed it. I tried to line it up as best as possible for the most uranium I could get, but it did not want to play nice with my conveyor system, which does not look fancy. That is for the specific purpose of the fact that I'm probably going to replace this later. I definitely just need something I can get going so that once I actually have a docking system for a cargo container that I can bring it out here, drop it in, and have all the production flow into that, and then take the other one out, I will rebuild this into some kind of nice landing tower type thing, so I could come out here with a, just to visit and grab stuff if I want. But right now, I've got this going. That means it is feeding into here, and I start off with just 10. We're actually going to go ahead and add 9,990 to this, so it will start producing. Next will be then putting that into this, which I of course did not set up quite right for that. So this is about to lose power when I take this apart, but I am going to readjust this now. First with the switch, and then with this, so that it will actually face the way I want. I want to actually be able to connect right in if possible. For the moment, at least. I forgot to consider that part beforehand, and so there goes that. And we're going to add the switch back. Now, I'm not doing anything fancy with the switch here, just because of the fact that, actually, I'm not even going to do that. I'm going to leave that off, because what if I do want to add something to this later? Can't I do that? Well, I could do it like that. And that will work. So I can connect there, connect that, and connect that. Which means these are all powered here. And then I will have this switch power all of these, and that another switch over there powering all of those. And then later on, I will redo these as I need to link them all in with the conveyors to where there is, say, one collector here and another collector on that side. And then this gets moved maybe over here where it actually sits on top of the mining rig rather than off to the side like this. But that is at least functional now. And I need to, oh yeah, I need to put some power in it. That's probably a good thing to do right there, is put power into it. There we go. So now that is, I don't know why it splits it off like that for some reason, but it does. All right, so that's working. Now I need to actually tie those together and drop that in. And I did bring supplies with me in my inventory just for the fact that some of this, like especially building that, was just outside the reach of the item dispenser. You see I've already dropped one, there goes the other one, and I could not get it to line up right. So I had to grab some stuff, put it into inventory in the end anyway. But we are going to go ahead, if I can get it to, let me stay set up the way I want. There we go. All right, so we're going to do that. I'll go ahead and put one here while I have, you know what? No, I don't want that one there. We're going to do just straight out, yeah. No weird zigzag. We'll do that right there, and then one there, like that. Bam, bam, bam. Self-replenishing power production. It will harvest all the uranium it needs. This will produce all the enriched uranium it needs, and then this will take power from that. So let's see, it's 10 hours, 39 minutes right now. Let's watch. Should take only a few seconds, and we'll see it jump up to more. Which means really in the end, when I come back here to get supplies, I can also steal some enriched uranium from this and use that for taking back to their base, or, you know, taking and using with one of my other flying vessels. There we go, 12 hours now. So it has added some more. So this is now self-sustaining, completely independent. And so I can actually go ahead and start adding other stuff. So like that switch. And I could have made some of it reach over there, but I didn't want to even bother with attempting to do that and find out it wouldn't work. Figured might as well go ahead and just set up a switch there to cover all these. And let's see, we've got 76% XAENITE. Yeah, we're gonna get other resources, just 1%. You know, some of this, like they're 82%, and then dirt, 55%. Those little weird ones, I will be repositioning things, because this obviously is not going to work exactly like it is with my, you know, conveyor system. So I will have to do some adjusting there. And I'm not even going to worry about that side just yet. I'm going to worry about now, hopefully having everything I need to get that going. I do have some production still finishing up over here. I had to add some more things to it. And I'll just go ahead and take everything into my inventory since I am done at this point. And I'll go ahead and start working on reorganizing those, because I would at least like to have a central storage repository for them set up in some regard, so that, hey, you know, I can just come back and grab from one place, not have to go and grab from all these different containers, all these different mining rigs. I'd rather just go ahead and get the production going where at least they're all connected, and maybe have just like a set of containers here that they connect into, and that's the overflow. Alright, so I have finally finished all of the mining rigs. I had to redo things. Basically, I started here, built all the way out, and then ended up rearranging things and building all the way back instead, having to reconnect everything. But I have a total of 9 mining rigs here, and every single one of them says XAENITE and dirt. And nothing else. So that should be really good. However, one of these that says XAENITE and dirt ended up finding gold. So apparently they still have a chance of finding other materials beyond what they list, but the materials they list are at least 1% or higher. So I'm assuming the gold was less than 1% chance, so it's just a random thing. But yes, they are all up and running. You see how much I'm already getting. And, you know, one question would be, Mr. Spicy, do you really need that much XAENITE? And no, I don't. But when I come here, because of the distance from my actual base to here, it's going to, you know, get rid of the chunks when I get out of range. It's going to say that I am out of range and I don't need to have these chunks rendered. So it will unrender them, unload them from memory, and that means this won't be producing anything. At least right now, that's the way it's been working for me. It may change. It may have been changed. I just haven't actually seen it happen yet. But before, anything outside that 2-kilometer range did not function. It acted like it wasn't there. I mean, it was there, but you didn't have any production going. So this will stop when I get out of range, which is why I want to make sure when I come back, especially once I have all that size set up too, I will come back and be able to just basically drop in my storage container into the collection setup, and everything will be powered. And if I need to, I will sit. So here, perfect example. Shows uranium, titanium, and pile of dirt. Uranium is on, titanium's off, pile of dirt's of course off, and yet I have some gold. So that is a bit of a problem. That might gunk things up a bit, causing problems in the end with my production. I don't think it'll be that big of an issue, as long as it doesn't slowly pile up to a lot of gold, maybe a lot of other stuff. But I actually do have a decent bit of resources left, not as bad as I thought it would be. I probably should go ahead and get some production of more deuterium going. And for that, I also need to get clean water. So we're going to do some purified water. I've got plenty of carbon. We'll do 200. That's enough for 10 more deuterium rods. And there we go. Also, I am doing pretty well on my power right now anyway. I come here, see, I've got 34. That's 39 hours of use sitting here like it is, just letting it run, mining. And technically, if I'm over a carbon deposit, I can just let it produce all of its own power non-stop. Right now, that's exactly what this is basically doing, producing all of its own power. We have 933 there and 8,996 there. Again, I don't know why it split it like that. Just seems to randomly do that. And here we've already got 65. That's what is already cleared through of the uranium that was in it. So now it is working its way through the uranium here, which means at some point it may reach a balancing act where as soon as enough is produced here, it produces a uranium rod. And that's perfectly fine. That means I will always have power going. And now I'm already up to 17 hours. And that's 17 hours with 9 mining rigs. So I add another 9 over here. That will cut down a bit. But I still have plenty of power from this to manage at least 9 more mining rigs, as well as lights and some other things here for cosmetic purposes once this is all set up and done. But now, when I make a change to the power setup here, all I have to do is reconnect to that. And when I am ready to connect everything into a new storage container system, all I have to do is take those small containers out and connect the line in, and voila, it's done, it's ready to go. So this is off to a good start, but it is time to start heading back because I need some time to actually work on figuring out how I want to do this, what setup I'm going to use, test out some ideas, and that means back to the main base, where I already have quite a bit of XAENITE anyway. But just in case, let's go ahead and I will get every bit of XAENITE out of these and take that back with me so I don't have to come back for a little while. Alright, well that is it for today's episode of Planet Nomads. If you enjoyed the content, if you enjoyed what you saw, and enjoyed watching me work through a lot of building and doing other creative things, be sure to hit that like button. Also, make sure to leave me a comment below, let me know what you think. If you have any suggestions for the method to use to bring a big storage container here and use it to collect a lot of XAENITE and then just take it back, I would love to hear from you. And of course, hit subscribe if you haven't done so already. As always, I'm your host, Mr. Spicy. Thanks so much for watching. Be sure to keep it spicy this week, and I will see you in the next video.